Hey guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to read in 2026. So these are going to include both most anticipated books and books that are also have been released already that I just want to keep as a priority TBR for the new year. And originally I was going to do a 26 books to read in 2026 type of video because I did one last year which was 25 books to read in 2025, but I think just having a list that long is just unrealistic, and I know it's not supposed to be a list of every single book that you have to read, but 26 books is literally half of my reading for the year. Pretty much exactly 50% of the amount of books that I've been reading. In the past years, I've been reading about 50 to 60 books in a year. And just that amount of books wasn't realistic. So I wanted a little bit more of a manageable list. So now I have about 14 books. I feel like this is a pretty good sized list of books that I think I can actually achieve. It's not a majority of my total reading. So I have a lot of space to keep reading other random books because I know that a lot of my reading is just picking up books on a whim. I am a huge mood reader. I like to pick up books that are hyped. So if a book is hyped in the moment, I like to pick that up in the hype as well. So it's actually a pretty almost even split between books I have that are new releases coming up that I'm excited for and other books that I just want to keep as a priority. For the books that are new releases, they're almost all from authors that I've heard of and that I've read from before, because there's so many books out there that are new that are coming out that is almost overwhelming to go through and try to find books that you're interested in, because I think there would be far too many. So I narrowed this down to books that I have heard of, authors that I've really loved, and books that are parts of series that I'm reading, so books that I'm familiar with basically. But like I said, as the year goes on, usually for new releases and new authors, I look for what's the current hyped author or book, and usually I find a lot of really great authors through that, but that is something that I won't know until the year has started and it has been going on. Anyway, starting with the very first book that I have coming up, this one comes out on January 20th, and that is Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I did read I'm Glad My Mom Died by her. She wrote that as a memoir of her time as a child star in Nickelodeon. She played Sam in a lot of different shows, and she didn't have the best experience growing up, so she decided to write about that, and I really loved that book. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. I thought it was a really great memoir. I was engaged, and it truly was really interesting to see kind of into the eyes of a child star and what that's really like. And I liked her writing style, and this one is actually a fiction book from her, so I'm excited to see what kind of she does with that, because it is obviously not her own life. This one, you can kind of probably go off from the title. It is a story of an age gap story between a student and a teacher. There's this girl named Waldo, and she is kind of fascinated by her teacher, and she doesn't really know why, and I think they kind of start this affair, and I think it has obviously there's going to be commentary on that relationship. But that is all I know, and I really don't know anything else. I just know that I like Jeanette McCurdy's writing, so I'm interested to see how her fiction books end up being. Then we have The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. This is her newest contemporary romance book. I read 3 of her books this year, all of her Part of Your World series, and I enjoyed all of them. None of them were super standoutish and amazing to me. I really liked Just for the Summer, but the other 2 were honestly pretty... they weren't, I thought they would blow me away and they'd be 5 stars basically, but they weren't. But I think Just for the Summer was the closest one. She does have another book that came out last year, Say You'll Remember Me, which I have not read yet, but I do want to read that in 2026. But this is her newest book. I think this is from start, Say You'll Remember Me, we have a spin-off little series, interconnected standalone. So The Night We Met is the second one of that. And I know that I like Abby Jimenez's story. She does a really good job of combining real life stuff, a lot of hard things that people go through, but with the romance that she also does is really good. So overall, I like her writing style, I like her characters, and although they're never 5-star books to me, I still really enjoy her books. Oh, and The Night We Met comes out on March 31st. Then we have The Caretaker, which comes out on April 21st, and that is by Marcus Cleaver. This is his newest book, After We Used to Live Here, which I just read a month ago, and I just was blown away by that book, and I loved it so much. That one is a haunted house story following this couple that is flipping houses, and then they're in their newest house, like their current project. This family comes in and they kind of want to come in and see and look around, and she lets them in, and then weird stuff starts happening from there. I really love that story. I think he does a really good job of writing like mind-bending kind of stories, and I really like stories like that, ones that make you think, ones where you're kind of confused as to what's going on, and that was definitely one of those books. So this one I think follows this girl named Macy, and she sees this ad for a caretaker, and she becomes intrigued by this job position, so she ends up taking it, and I think she has to go to some cabin for it, and weird stuff starts happening. And I'm sure it's gonna be just as crazy and kind of mind-bending as we used to live here. And I already saw like a 5-star review of it on Goodreads. I don't know if that's from an ARC or something, but it's already making me excited for this book, so I'm really excited for this one. Then on May 5th, we have a couple of releases. The first one is Broken Dove by Dani Francis. This is the sequel to Silver Elite, which was one of my favorite books probably from this year. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really love Silver Elite. It's probably one of my favorite books this year. I had a lot of fun with it. It is a dystopian romance book, and it's just a hit or miss with me with popular romanticies this year. Some of them are just end up being like duds for me, but this one I'm so happy ended up being a hit for me. I really enjoyed it. I was invested in the romance. I really liked the plot. It was engaging. I had a lot of fun reading it, and the way they ended, I definitely wanted to keep continuing on. So I am also excited for this one. I hope that it like is a good sequel, because I feel like sequels can sometimes flop a little bit because they end up being like kind of a bridge to what like is gonna happen in the later books. But nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to this one. Then we have another romantic sequel coming out on May 5th, and that is Fury Bound by Sable Sorensen. This is the sequel to Dire Bound. Dire Bound is also one of my other favorite books of this year. It is also a romantasy. It's basically Fourth Wing, but with dire wolves. And it's just also really entertaining. It's just one of those books where like some books like are just really fun. Again with Fourth Wing, I really loved as well. I thought it was just so much fun, and I kind of got the same feeling with this one. I just thought it was really fun to read. The romance was also like, there is kind of a love triangle situation, but I kind of liked how it played out. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I did see a lot of Fourth Wing similarities in the first book, so I hope that this one kind of breaks off from it, but nonetheless, I'm still really looking forward to this one. I really don't know what to say other than I'm excited. I probably said that like 50 times in this video, but I literally don't know what else to say because I am excited about all of these. Then we have The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham. This comes out on June 2nd. So this one is actually an author that I've never read from, but she is a booktuber. She started off as a booktuber, and now she's kind of entering into her author career. The only thing I know about this, I think, is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but the one thing I love about this, like I literally need to own this right now, is the cover. The cover is absolutely stunning. Whoever was the artist for this absolutely knocked it out of the park. It's so beautiful. I want it just because of the cover, and I think I probably will get this like physical copy just because of how beautiful the cover is. I am always a little hesitant with books from authors that used to be like influencers online, just because like I don't know if they kind of like, obviously I'm sure they use some of their clout, I feel like clout is the wrong word, but clout basically for getting a deal. I don't know, maybe not, maybe I'm completely misconstruing the publishing industry, but I am still really excited about this one. I just think it's gonna have like really lyrical, beautiful writing. That's what it's giving me based on the title and the cover. And I just really hope that it lives up to my expectations. Then on June 9th, we have Light Wielder by Rachel Schneider. This is the sequel to Metal Slinger, which is another romantasy read. This one is a read that I definitely is not like amazing. I thought there could have been some better execution with the pacing. It kind of dragged in the middle for me, but the way that it ended was absolutely insane. Like, I literally need to go back and reread the ending just to read it again, even though I can never read it for the first time. And the second book, I'm sure, is gonna be going into it way more, but I just have to see how it continues with the way it ended. I can't really say anything because obviously it's a spoiler, but just know that if you want a really big, like, really good plot twist in a fantasy romance book, I would definitely recommend Metal Slinger. I'm really excited for this one just because of like how the last one ended. Then we have, such a bittersweet book that I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't even know if it's coming out in 2026. And I don't know anything about this book. Like, I know, like, obviously what it's gonna follow, kind of, but I don't know, like, when it's coming out, or even, like, any time, like, not even a season of when it might come out. And that is the one and only The Last King of Fairy by Cassandra Clare. The reason this is bittersweet is because this is the first book in the last trilogy of the Shadowhunter universe, which means the Shadowhunter universe is coming to an end. That means that after these like 3 books that are going to come out, there's going to be no more Shadowhunter books, I don't think. And that is just so sad to me. I've been reading the series since like I was 13 or 14, and now I'm about to turn 24 in March, so it's literally been 10 years of my life in this book. I love this series so much. It means so much to me, so much so that I got the Fearless, I don't know if you can see it, I got the Fearless rune tattooed on my wrist when I was 19. And I don't know, just the series, it means everything to me. I love the characters, I love everything about the series. I met Cassandra Clare for the first time this year, so exciting, literally 10 years in the making. And yeah, I'm sad. I'm literally sad. I'm sad. I know we still have a few years because it's gonna take a while for all these books to come out, just because I think her writing, her release schedule is, I don't know what her release schedule is, but I think it's like a little bit more spread out. So it's probably gonna be definitely late into the like 2020s, possibly even 2030 when the series ends. So we still have like a few more years, but I'm still very sad. It's gonna be definitely a bittersweet moment, and I'm really excited about this one. Then we are moving on to books that I have like on my list that I own already and that I want to get to, books on my physical TBR. Obviously all books on my physical TBR are part of books that I want to read, but these are just priority books that I want to get to. The first one that I absolutely want to do in 2026 is finally finish the Chestnut Springs series. Now, I really like this series. I think it's really entertaining, but I just spent far too much time like between books. I don't know why. It just spent months and months, and I just don't need to do that. I will get to these books this year. I'm really excited to continue because I really want to get to the Rose Hill series, which is like Wild Love, whatever, and she's releasing a new book, Fever Dream, in 2026. So I kind of just want to get caught up in her world because all of these series are kind of set in the same world. So I think it's just time. I need to finish these finally. Then we have finishing the Throne of Glass series, or even starting it over again, because I read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight like ages ago, like probably more than a year ago at this point, as a part of a reread, but then I never continue on to Heir of Fire. So I don't know if I want to like just start my reread over again or just go from Heir of Fire. I'm thinking I might low-key just start again because I just love this book so much. But yeah, definitely need to start that again, and I'm so happy, or I'm so excited to be back in this world. I love this series so much. It's my favorite series ever in the whole entire world. I love this whole world and the whole universe that she's created now, and I'm just always gonna want to be like living in this world. This might have been in my 25 books to read in 2025, probably, but that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I just need to get to this. I've heard just so many wonderful things about R.F. Kuang. I read Yellowface by her, which is her contemporary book, and I actually didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I really did not like that book, but I've heard a lot of really great things specifically about this series and like her fantasy-esque books in general. So yeah, I definitely want to get to this one. Then of course we have Alchemize by Senlin Yu. This was originally on my 10 before the end for reading in this year, but I don't think that's gonna happen, specifically because I've been reading a lot of really chunky books, and my current book, which is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, after this I just don't think I have the brain capacity to get to this one as well. I think I want to end with some lighter books for the year, because I've been reading some heavy books recently, like Binding and Keeping 13, which were so heavy, and now Final Empire, which is like a big fantasy book. So I think I'm going to be pushing this off to 2026. I don't know when exactly, probably beginning of the year sometime, like January, February, but yeah, I will for sure be reading this in 2026. Then we have Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong. This is like a academia fantasy story. It follows this girl who is trying to get into this university and study for this exam to get in, but since she is a female, she's not really allowed to go and study there. So she decides to go and become like a janitor there, and there she meets someone else and they discover something about magic. And that's really all I know. And I've heard nothing but amazing things. Everyone's been giving this 5 stars. So this is also high on my list. So this is me coming in later, but I watched someone else's video and I realized that I forgot a very important book coming out in 2026 as well, which is Heartstopper Volume 6 by Alice Oseman. I forgot this because I think originally I thought it was going to come out in 2025 because I remember it was in my last year's most anticipated video, but I think it got pushed to 2026, and I think it's coming out in the summer of 2026, I believe like July or something. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot that. That is probably one of my most anticipated books of the year, to be honest. I love the Heartstopper series. I honestly reread that series like every year. It's a graphic novel series, so it's really quick to read, but I just find so much happiness in that series and just so much joy with following their story every year. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this last book. It's also kind of sad because I think it is the last book, I'm pretty sure, in this series, so we're not going to get any more of their story, which is really sad. But yeah, I'm so excited. I feel like I talk about them all the time. I literally mention Heartstopper so often, and it is truly one of my like favorite series of all time. But yeah, I totally missed Heartstopper, and I am very, very excited for that one. And then another book that I really want to get to in 2026 is, and I think I will, which everyone has been talking about lately, and that is The Brimstone by Callie Hart. This is the sequel to Quicksilver, and it just came out like a few weeks ago. This is the Target exclusive edition, which I don't understand because I've seen another version too from Target that looks different. But this one has like this sprayed edges, and then it also has, actually I'm just noticing this now, but it also has like decorated like artistic end pages, which I think is cool. I guess I didn't actually look at this book as much as I should have, but yeah, everyone's been talking about this book. I feel like it's a super hype to like release. I literally fell into the hype and got it on release day, even though I wasn't even planning on it. But my battery is low, so I have to go. These are all the books that I read. No, these are all the books that I want to read in 2026. Let me know down below what is a book that you want to read in 2026, as of course I would love to know. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.